Part 61. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 601. Chapter 601 A Familiar Man. The first time I saw Mosi, I had a feeling of déjà vu. Uncle Mosi, are you Chinese too? Yes, your Uncle Mosi has a lot of background. Let's take advantage of the new year and ask him to give you a big red envelope. Lao Chiao was full of praise for Mosi. Since we have been friends for many years, it seems that the friendship is very deep from Mr. Chiao's casual tone. In this case, Ye Wei is not so restrained. This Mosi looks to be in his 40s, with handsome features and some short beard on his face, but it does not detract from his heroic spirit. Wearing a black coat and a pair of shiny leather shoes, his clothes are noble and elegant, his temperament is good, and his whole body exudes the charm of a middle-aged mature man. She was sure that she had not known Mosi before, but the feeling Mosi gave her was unclear whether he was acquaintance or similar to someone else. Ye Wei told himself again that maybe he was overthinking it. Mosi, look, this is my granddaughter Chiao Chiao, how about? After introducing Mosi, he started to introduce Ye Wei. When Mr. Chiao introduced Ye Wei to Mosi, his words of praise were like a torrential river. Mr. Namosi also generously handed out a red envelope. Ye Wei is still embarrassed to accept it. Since you are Mr. Chiao's granddaughter, I don't treat you as an outsider. This red envelope is a meeting gift from the elders to the younger ones. You can accept it with peace of mind. Moci's advice was ordinary, but listening to his calm voice made people feel irresistible. Then Chiao Chiao will accept it, thank you Uncle Mosi. This girl is cute and sweet, and she has a sweet mouth. Mr. Chiao, you are so lucky. Mr. Chiao immediately became happy when he heard other people praising his granddaughter. Two friends of different generations had a very pleasant conversation. Yezi was very smart and saw the right time to leave, leaving room for the two of them to talk freely. She caught Chiao Yu and asked quietly, do you know this Uncle Mosi? He seems to have a good relationship with Grandpa. Of course we know each other, Grandpa's old acquaintance. Are you here to celebrate the Chinese New Year with Grandpa? No, everyone should be celebrating the New Year at home at this time, why come to our Chiao's house? It is said that I have some official business to attend to, so I stopped by to visit Grandpa. Oh, I got it. Why, are you so curious about this Uncle Mosi? You can't just be attracted to him, right? Chiao Yu, please stop talking nonsense. She usually wouldn't ask so many questions about someone, but maybe it was the influence Mosi had on her, that indescribable feeling. Who are they similar to? Chiao Yu said to her, seeing that you are so thirsty for knowledge, I will tell you that there is actually a story about how Grandpa met Mosi. What story? Do you know why Pei Yuchen is so loyal? He said it was because his grandfather once saved his life. Bingo, Chiao Yu snapped his fingers and continued, because Grandpa saved Pei Yuchen's life with a moment of kindness, Pei Yuchen is willing to stay with Grandpa for 10 years to repay his kindness, and that Mosi is said to be Pei Yuchen's original owner. Ye Wei made a bold guess, Assistant Pei changed jobs. So Uncle Mosi accidentally made friends with Grandpa when he came to find someone. Chiao Yu coughed twice, you have a very rich imagination. Ye Wei asked, what's going on? It's almost the same as what you said, but it's not that Pei Yuchen changed jobs. It seems that it was Mosi who regarded Pei Yuchen as his senior. He cared about Pei Yuchen and occasionally came to visit Pei Yuchen. Later, he became acquainted with Grandpa. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 602. Chapter 602, The Crescent Mark on Mr. Mo's Waist. Speaking of Pei Yuchen just walked by. What are you talking about? I seem to hear you mention my name. Chiao Chiao is full of curiosity about that Uncle Mosi. It just so happens that you are here to talk to her. Chiao Yu left the matter to Pei Yuchen, turned around and went into the room to play with the game console he had just received. Pei Yuchen asked, "Miss, why are you interested in Mr. Mosi?" Ye Weiwei frankly expressed his feelings. "Actually, I'm not interested. I just feel that I have a similar feeling to someone when I see Uncle Mosi." She thought that Pei Yuchen couldn't understand, or was just as confused as Chiao Yu, but she didn't expect it. Pei Yuchen asked her, "Miss, do you really think so?" "What? I don't even know how to describe it myself. Can you understand it?" Pei Yuchen touched the bridge of his nose and said, "It seems that I'm still a little confused." "Assistant Pei, do you know what I mean? I really want to meet him, but I'm sure I have no impression. It's just a feeling, an inexplicable feeling." She said a few words and got herself involved. "The world is full of wonders, miss, don't be too entangled." "That's right. I'm overthinking it." "I don't care. I'm going back to my room first." Ye Weiwei waved to Pei Yuchen. Pei Yuchen nodded calmly. When the only figure in the night disappeared from sight, Pei Yuchen frowned slightly, and the expression on his face was not as relaxed as before. He really didn't expect that Ye Weiwei would feel that way when he saw Mosi. Could what he guessed be true? Pei Yuchen made a fist with one hand and punched the palm of the other hand, thought about it carefully, and finally nodded lightly, as if he had made a decision in his heart. When the conversation between Mosi and Mr. Chiao ended, Mosi sat alone in the courtyard, with the cool night breeze blowing in from all sides. When Pei Yuchen saw this scene, he calmly walked over and said hello. "Mr. Moss." Mosi raised his head to see him coming and greeted him casually, "Yi Chen, how are you doing?" Pei Yuchen responded in an official manner, "Everything is fine, Mr. Lau is worried about me." Mosi glanced at him and said, "You left the Mo family for 6 years on the pretext of repaying your kindness. Have you ever thought about going back?" Pei Yuchen replied without hesitation, "Sir, the Chiao family is kind to me. Although Yuchen has been working as someone else's subordinate these years, he has lived a comfortable life." When he said this, he had a natural expression on his face and fluent words. There was no falsehood at all, and everything came from his heart. Although he was doing things for others, the Chiao family treated him kindly and would not force him to do anything, so he, as assistant Pei, was satisfied. Hearing his reply, Mosi sighed coolly. "Your mother misses you very much, so you never thought of going back to see her?" "Sir, please forgive Yi Chen for saying something disrespectful. Since that woman betrayed me and my father and chose to be with the second master, I, Pei Yuchen, no longer have a mother." This sentence caused Mosi and Pei Yuchen to recall the past. Pei Yuchen's father was originally Moc's confidant, and Mosi treated them well. Their family all worked for the Mo family and were loyal. Until one day, a scandal was exposed. His mother actually got involved with the second master of the Mo family. His father could not bear the blow of betrayal and was unable to recover, but his mother still chose to fall into the arms of the second master of the Mo family. From that moment on, Pei Yuchen left the Mo family. But Mosi treated him and his father very well. Pei Yuchen has a clear distinction between good and evil and respects Mosi very much. "Mr. Mo, may I ask, there seems to be a crescent mark on your waist." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 603. Chapter 603. I have no son. Mosi clenched his fist and raised it to his mouth and coughed lightly. "Ahem, why do you suddenly ask this question? It's quite embarrassing to be suddenly asked about the marks on your body." Mr. Dissatisfied, Yi Chen accidentally saw a young man in his 20s with a crescent moon birthmark on his waist. I remembered that I had seen a crescent moon on his body before, and I was a little curious. Pei Yuchen explained clearly, and Mosi also said frankly, there is indeed a crescent moon on my waist, and it is also a birthmark the size of a thumb. Pei Yuchen asked back, sir, aren't you curious about who the young man I'm talking about is? Mosi shook his head and sighed, hey, there are so many strange things in this world, even if they have similar birthmarks, there is nothing strange about them. That's so. Pei Yuchen nodded and said with a smile, I also suspected that that person was your long-lost son, sir. That's not possible, Mosi rejected Pei Yuchen's guess without hesitation. Mosi spoke with reason, I've never been married, so how could I have children? Hearing what Mosi said so firmly, Pei Yuchen could not refute. Mosi is the third master of the Mo family. He is nearly 50 years old this year, but he has never been married, nor has he kept any lovers. He is single to this day. Although everyone in the Mo family advised him to get married as soon as possible and maybe have a child, Mosi firmly believed that he would rather remain single until he met the person he loved. There were 3 brothers in the Mahist family. Because of this, the Mahist family later allowed Mahist to make the decision on his own. Pei Yuchen has a complicated heart. The two talked for a few more words, and Pei Yuchen left first. Mosi was still sitting in the courtyard. After Pei Yuchen left, he thought carefully about what Pei Yuchen had just said. A long-lost son? How can it be? He has never been sexual with women, except. Only the accident happened more than 20 years ago. Mosi shook his head to get rid of these unnecessary thoughts. He didn't have a strong sense of recognition of his wife and children, because he always felt that he had never met the wife who was destined to be his, so it didn't matter if he remained single. The next day. This is the first day of the Spring Festival, the first day of the Lunar New Year. Aunt Jasmine woke up early and cooked glutinous rice and served a bowl to the whole family, including Pei Yuchen and guest Mosi. Come on, I made the glutinous rice with my own hands, I hope you can appreciate them. Foreigners are not as reserved as Chinese people in speaking, but Jasmine's straightforwardness makes people feel very comfortable, and everyone praised her for doing a great job after eating. A message suddenly popped up on the phone next to him. Ye Wei quietly took the phone under the table, put it on his lap and typed quickly. There was an unconcealable smile on her face. Qiao Yu was sitting next to her, so he could naturally see her little movements clearly. Qiao, eat first and stop playing with your phone. Qiao Yu's well-intentioned reminder made everyone's eyes converge in her direction. Seeing the expression on Ye Yang's face, I can guess something. Lao Qiao deliberately reminded him with twice. Ye Wei put away her phone and finished the bowl of glutinous rice as quickly as possible. Putting down the bowl and chopsticks, Ye Wei couldn't help but asked, Grandpa, is it okay if I want to go out later? Mr. Qiao was still awkward, do you think you'll just stay here if I say no? One rhetorical question left Ye Wei speechless. Grandpa, my brother said he would wait for me at the door. Hearing Ye Wei's words, Mr. Qiao deliberately remained silent. Aunt Jasmine kindly paved the steps for them. Qiao, since your friend is here, just invite him in to finish the hot glutinous rice and have a taste of Auntie's cooking. Question 3 of the Dragon Boat Festival question and answer, how old is Brother Chen now? Oh, specific age. The first person with the correct answer will get 100 book coins, and then another person will be randomly selected to get 100 book coins. Answers to questions must be posted separately in the book review area, for example, quick answer, XXX. Dragon Boat Festival benefits, please read the book review section for details, be sure to read it. 1 As of 2300 hours on the 18th of this month, the top 10 in the monthly fan list will each receive a Dragon Boat Festival red envelope. 2 as of 2300 hours on the 30th of this month, anyone who hits the last 5 on the tipping floor can get a red envelope. For example, 775, 785. A person who receives red envelopes more than 7 times can receive a physical gift. 3 From the 15th to the 18th of this month, there will be a question and answer activity in Chapter 5, which is updated every day, and the answers will be announced in Chapter 6 the next day. The first book friend to answer correctly will receive book coins. Please pay attention to the update of the day for details. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 604. Chapter 604 Che, brother, Che, I think. Yeah, call Yezikin in, and I can ask him about the game console. Chiao Yu welcomes Yezikin now, because of the game console. Pei Yuchen glanced in the direction of Mosi. If Yezikin came in. Everyone is still waiting for Mr. Chiao to speak. But Mr. Chiao still didn't want to see the Ye family. Go quickly. Go quickly. The 3 words Mr. Chiao said were like receiving an amnesty order, making Ye Weiwei smile and say, "Thank you, Grandpa." When Ye Weiwei bit out, Chiao Yu quickly ran 2 steps to catch up with her, grabbed her and said, "Your boyfriend is at the level of a boss, a gaming boss. Please introduce me to him when you have time." Ye Weiwei was in a hurry. No matter what he said, he nodded repeatedly, "Don't worry, it's no problem. I'll remember it. I'll tell you when I have time next time. Next time." Pushing Chiao Yu away, Ye Wei couldn't wait to run away. Yezikin stood by the car waiting for her. Ye Weiwei looked at the new car and sighed at Yezikin's arrogance. "Is this a new car? Brother, you are too wealthy." Seeing her happy look, Yezikin did not hesitate and generously presented the car keys. "You want it to be given to you." Ye Wei said yo and pushed his hand away. No, 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 I don't like driving, I prefer to just enjoy it." "Why do you have to do it yourself? Isn't it better to just sit back and enjoy it?" "Of course. It couldn't be better." Ye Weiwei got into the new car and happily took a few photos next to Yezikin, and then sent them to an exclusive group with Gong Qinli and several friends. "Let's go. This is their private group. Posting pictures like this is not to show off your wealth, just to show your affection." The single dog said he had received 10,000 points of damage, while Nangong Luo said, "Che, brother, Che, I think." Although Yezikin said this intermittently, as friends, they all understood it. Probably means, "This car is very good, boss, this car is very good, I want." Nangong Luo, who can't walk when he sees a good car, has a special hobby for collecting cars. "The only unceremonious recovery of the night, the key is in my hand." As soon as Nangong Luo saw this sentence, he immediately turned around and said, "Only sister, you see I'm usually not kind to you, right?" This. A lot of crackling words. Ye Weiwei snickered when he saw Nangong Luo playing tricks in the group. With the car, they can go anywhere. On the way, Ye Weiwei talked about meeting Mosi yesterday. "Brother, I met an uncle yesterday. He and my grandfather have been friends for many years, but it's so strange, I have a special feeling when I see him. I don't want to hear from you that you have a crush on other men, regardless of age. It's not that I have a good impression, I just feel like I know him when I see him." Ye Weiwei was sitting alone at the back table. She looked forward from the back and could just see Yezikin's profile. He blurted out a casual sentence, "Hey, I really want to know why." From the side, "Brother, you are somewhat similar to Uncle Mosi. Little Ling Dang, are you brave? How dare you compare me with an old man like an uncle?" Ye Weiwei quickly waved his hand and denied, "No, I didn't mean that. I just tell the truth." Snort. Yezikin snorted lightly and did not answer her topic. Ye Weiwei moved to the side, leaned forward, and lay on the seat staring at Yezikin. The side face, it really looks like it? Answer to the second question, Zhao Qing is the murderer of his father. Gu Mulan will be rewarded with 100 book coins, and Deep Sea Sleepless will be rewarded with 100 book coins. Dragon Boat Festival benefits, please read the book review section for details, be sure to read it. 1. As of 2300 hours on the 18th of this month, the top 10 in the monthly fan list will each receive a Dragon Boat Festival red envelope. 2. As of 2300 hours on the 30th of this month, anyone who hits the last 5 on the tipping floor can get a red envelope. For example, 775, 785. A person who receives red envelopes more than 7 times can receive a physical gift. 3. From the 15th to the 18th of this month, there will be a question and answer activity in Chapter 5, which is updated every day, and the answers will be announced in Chapter 6 the next day. The first book friend to answer correctly will receive book coins. Please pay attention to the update of the day for details. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 605. Chapter 605 Mosi and Yezikin meet. After a day of fun, I said goodbye to Yezikin at the door. Good night, brother. Mosi was walking out of the house. When Ye turned around, he saw Mosi, so he stretched out his hand and said hello, Uncle Mosi. Mosi also called out Chiao Chiao. Uncle Mosi, are you going out? Originally I was on a business trip to visit a friend, and it's time to leave now. Okay, Uncle Mosi will come back when he has time. There was no polite way to persuade her to stay, she was very polite and could not find fault. When Mosi stepped out of the door, he happened to see Yezikin leaning on the side of the car, his eyes always falling on the back of Yezikin. Based on the conversation that took place this morning, Mosi guessed that this young man was the only one who dated yet. Although I don't understand why this young man is not liked by Mr. Chiao, I can tell from just 1 or 2 glances from the side that this young man is not simple. Elegance and elegance must not be found in a pond. When Ye Wei entered the inner door, he found Pei Yuchen standing outside, watching the direction Mosi left. Ye Wei stood in front of him and raised his hand. Assistant Pei, do you have a good relationship with Uncle Mosi? Pei Yuchen answered truthfully, Mr. Mosi was originally my father's boss. We have known him since we were young, so we are relatively familiar with him. Ye Wei understood and nodded, speaking of which, I finally solved my doubts about last night. Pei Yuchen frowned and asked, what do you mean by this, miss? Didn't I say yesterday that I had a special feeling when I saw Uncle Mosi, now I know why. Why? Because I found that Uncle Mosi's profile looks similar to that of my brother. Although they are different in age, they still have that feeling. Ye Wei calmly expressed his feelings. After hearing this, Pei Yuchen was slightly shocked. Young lady, you actually think so? Yes, don't you think so? After thinking about it, she added, well, I think it's because I'm too familiar with my brother. Pei Yuchen's fingers trembled slightly. He said as if he was joking, you said they are similar, it could be that they are father and son. How is that possible? Assistant Pei, you are so good at joking. Although I don't like the Ye family couple either, the blood relationship cannot be separated. Ye Wei didn't take Pei Yuchen's words to heart at all and just thought he was making a joke. But at that moment, Pei Yuchen regretted not firming up his mind. Now that Mosi is gone, he can't get anything to verify the relationship between the two. One day later, Yezikin was going back to China. Although he came to country M to stay with Ye for only 2 days, his relatives are still in the country. Ye Wei hesitantly expressed to Mr. Chiao that she wanted to return to China with Yezikin. Of course, in the name of it, she spent the past years with her friends. Now that she has relatives this year, she must not forget those who have been with her for many years. Friend. Ye Wei is moved by emotion and rationality, and Mr. Chiao cannot fault her, and understands Ye Weiwei's lack of family affection for more than 10 years. Lao Chiao finally agreed to Ye Weiwei's return to the country. When she posted the news about returning to China in the group chat, Gong Qinli excitedly said she would pick her up at the airport. After getting off the plane, several friends finally got together again. 2 boys volunteered to take the suitcases, and Ye Weiwei and Gong Qinli walked arm in arm while talking and laughing. Out of the airport, Ye Weiwei casually glanced to the side and suddenly saw a slightly familiar man. That person seems to be Uncle Mosi. Stimulate. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 606. Chapter 606, The Kind of Love Between Men and Women. Mr. Chiao didn't tell her that it turned out that Mosi was also from S City. That's not right. Mr. Chiao said that the Mo family has a great background and is even more powerful than the Ye family. However, among the most famous families in S City, there is no Mo family. It's such a coincidence that I can see Uncle Mosi at the airport. Would you like to say hello? Ye Weiwei felt a little entangled in his heart. But then I thought about it, they didn't know each other very well, they just exchanged a few words with Mr. Chiao. And now that there are a lot of friends around me, it would be troublesome to go over and say hello by myself. Chiao, what are you looking at? Let's go. It's okay, let's go. Ye Weiwei withdrew his gaze and no longer cared about Mosi. Gong Qinli was as enthusiastic as ever, pulling him from south to north and saying, Chiao, we haven't had a good conversation since we came back. Ye Weiwei suddenly remembered that matter. I heard that you have transferred back to take the college entrance examination in China, right? Yes, that's right. You are doing well abroad, why do you want to come back? The only time she asked this question that night, Gong Qinli whispered in her ear, I'll tell you quietly, it's actually because of Gu Jinsi. I have a crush on him. Lu Li, you. Hush, don't say it yet. I haven't caught up with you yet, so I can't tell you. Ye could only digest this sentence by taking a deep breath, 2 breaths, or 3 breaths. She asked Gong Qinli, does Brother Nangong know that you like Gu Jinsi? Gong Qinli shook her head honestly, he doesn't know. Then you're not going to tell him. I don't plan to do it now, because he is very jealous, even his friends' jealousy. Then he will definitely blame me for focusing on over friends. Ye Weiwei blinked rapidly, are you sure you value over friends? Well, that guy really went too far. He only allowed the state officials to set fires but not the people to light lamps. I even saw him talking and laughing with beautiful women, and he also said that I value over friends. Hearing what Gong Qinli complained about Nangong Luo, Ye Weiwei, as a friend, wanted to give her a heads up, Lu Li, haven't you thought about it first, does Brother Nangong like you? Of course, he must like me. I'm so cute, don't you all like me? Gong Qinli patted her chest and acted very confident. Ye Weiwei shook his head and emphasized, it's not this kind of liking, it's that kind of liking, the kind between a man and a woman. I said, oh, that's impossible. If he liked me, he would have told me already. I'd better stay away from him as soon as possible to avoid harming the world. Gong Qinli accidentally amplified her voice. The conversation between the 2 girls was actually overheard by someone who was interested. Nangong Luo, who was originally walking side by side with Yezikan, took 2 steps back. Boss, you go ahead and clear the way, he kept smiling, completely hiding his inner feelings. Yes, only explicit hints could not make Gong Qinli change her mind. Gong Qinli's meaning is, I can't like Nangong Luo. If Nangong Luo loves me as a man and a woman, then I have to stay away from him early to avoid delaying him and wasting his feelings. Ye Wei reminded that he had nothing to say in the end. You really are, I don't even know what to say about you. Gong Qinli didn't pay much attention. Then don't talk about it, Chiao, you and brother Chen are so sweet during this period, is there anything special going on? No. Gong Qinli kept asking questions, but Ye Wei only said 3 words, which made Gong Qinli change his face instantly. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 607. Chapter 607, Eating meat during menstrual period. Menstrual period. When these 3 words were spoken for the only time that night, the smile on the face of the man next to him disappeared. Are you going to be so unlucky? Gong Qinli's exaggerated performance was so lifelike, as if she had lost 1.8 million yuan. Ye Wei held back her laughter because she would not tell Gong Qinli that she was actually overdoing it at the time, but her aunt soon reported it and reminded her not to do bad things. Now she has a reason to laugh at Gong Qinli. Oh Li Yulai, your mind is full of dirty things, what have you been thinking about all day? Gong Qinli said frankly, I just want to know when you can eat meat. Do you think I am more impatient? Brother Chen is an ascetic type. It's your ability to seduce him. If you can't knock him down when he likes you, that's your incompetence. Gong Qinli looked determined. The only moment in the night where I was speechless was suddenly despised. You talk about me clearly and clearly. You can't even understand your own feelings. I retorted unwillingly. But Gong Qinli vowed, let's make it clear. I'm going to attack the west of Gu City now. You have to help me more in the future. Is it really going to be like this? It's so embarrassing, she should be on Nangong Luo's side, but if Gong Qinli really likes Gu Jinsi, she has no reason not to support her friend's choice. Gong Qinli made the choice without hesitation, of course. I know that brother Chen and Gu Jinsi have a good relationship, you must help me. Well. At the New Year's party, Gu Jinsi was also invited, as was his younger brother Gu Li. Gu Li is no longer a young lady, but a tall and sunny boy, with red hair dyed maroon. Gu Jinsi's ice-shaped face has remained unchanged for thousands of years, exuding the aura of keeping strangers away. Ye Wei's relationship with him has always been subtle, but she plays well with Gu Li. Seeing Gu Li playing games next to Gu Jinsi, Gong Qinli stayed overnight and quietly gave an order, go and lure Gu Li away. Why? Ye Wei asked knowingly. Gong Qinli was full of vindictiveness, I'm going to take action. There was no other choice but to find an excuse to summon Gu Li as Gong Qinli said, and Gong Qinli sat in Gu Li's seat as she wished. Gu Li pointed to his position, Sister Li Yulai. Ye Wei quickly pulled him away, stop shouting, she did it on purpose. Only sister, do you mean that Sister Li Yulai likes my brother? I want to talk to you. I'm not even an adult yet, but I know a lot. Of course, I am the person with the highest emotional intelligence in our class. Having said this, Gu Li quietly asked Ye Wei's ear, Sister Wei, is the coming of age gift I gave you very practical? Have you used it? How do you feel? Boom, he punched Gu Li mercilessly, don't worry about the children. As for Gong Qinli, Chen Gong and Gu Jinsi sat next to each other. The waiter happened to bring drinks and place them on the small table where they were sitting. When I arrived at Gong Qinli's place and needed to add water, the waiter suddenly kicked something at his feet. His hand slipped and the tray fell over. At the critical moment, Gu Jinsi took action and pulled Gong Qinli to his side. The waiter grabbed the tray at the last moment, but the drink in the cup spilled on the floor. Gong Qinli is half lying on Gu Jinsi's lap. This scene seems to be frozen. Yan Yan, who ranked first in the overall list, was rewarded with a Dragon Boat Festival sachet made by Kixi Festival. 11 Yan, who ranks second in the overall list, will be rewarded with a physical gift. Zio rewards the Dragon Boat Festival with a big red envelope. Please ask the above 3 to come to Kixi Festival to claim your prize. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Kixi. Chapter 608. Chapter 608. How long are you going to lie on me? At such close contact, she almost felt like she couldn't breathe. How long do you want to lie on top of me? Until the cold voice reminded her, Gongkinli immediately stood up. Thank you, Dr. Gu, you helped me again. Ever since she changed her name to Dr. Gu last time, Gongkinli feels that the word Dr. Gu is more interesting than Brother Gu. It seems that every time, she can fall into Guchensi's arms accurately. No, it was Guchensi who took the initiative to help every time. Thinking about it this way, I feel a little closer to my goal. Gongkinli arranged her clothes and stared at Guchensi with her chin in one hand. Dr. Gu, do you think we are destined to be together? You can save me every time in the most critical moment. This kind of topic is very emotional, and anyone with high emotional intelligence or someone with other thoughts will pick up the topic, but Guchensi just said, next time, I can turn a blind eye. You are simply a typical example of being single based on your ability. Gongkinli liked his ascetic and cold tone. The more Guchensi distanced himself, the more she wanted to conquer him. No, no, if you turn a blind eye, I will suffer. Guchensi did not answer. As soon as Nangang Luo stepped into the room, he saw Gongkinli next to Guchensi, with his body slightly sideways, talking to Guchensi. But Guchensi was taciturn and almost ignored her. But Gongkinli was not discouraged. Instead, she became more and more courageous. She said, based on Guchensi's good looks alone, his face is also a pleasing sight. Nangang Luo did not say hello to them and sat alone on one side. He was chatting with Gu Li on his cell phone, but he couldn't help but look in Gongkinli's direction from time to time. Gu Li was fighting fiercely beside him. Brother Luo, someone is coming from the other side, please save me quickly, I haven't developed yet. Gu Li asked for help, but received no response. He just watched helplessly as his game character lay dead on the ground. Over. Gu Li stood up, looked down at Nangang Luo's movements, and found that he was killing the enemy one after another with great speed with both hands. Brother Luo, 666. With his teammates so awesome, Gu Li plunged into a new round of battle. Having played a game, I successfully pushed the tower. Gu Li cheered with joy, but Nangang Luo lost his cell phone. Don't get me wrong, he just threw his phone on the seat next to him. Brother Luo, what's wrong with you? We won, let's play again quickly. Children, let them play by themselves, don't get addicted to games. Gu Li clicked his tongue twice and started a new game by himself. At the same time, he did not forget to complain, I can't understand you adults. What do you think of my brother and sister Li Yulai? Are they a good match? A good match, is there something wrong with your eyes? Nangang Luo turned venomous in a second. A few more friends came next to her. When they saw Gongkinli, they teased her about why she didn't stay with Nangang Luo. Gongkinli explained that she and Nangang Luo had no special concern, but others laughed. They saw Gongkinli walking towards them and directly called Nangang Luo's name. Nangang Luo, they still don't believe me when I tell them that we have nothing to do with each other. Please tell them. What do you want me to say? Just say that we are just serious friends. Friendship is not love. Just tell them to stop making fun of us. I can't even fall in love properly. Nangang Luo remained silent. Gongkinli picked up his hand with one hand and said, quick, tell me quickly, let's see if they dare to make fun of us in the future. Wearing Hanfu to participate in the Dragon Boat Festival activities on Kixi Festival today, it's super nice. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 609. Chapter 609, How does it feel to help the girl you like pursue someone else? The two of them are recognized as a couple, but Gong Qinli is unwilling to admit it, and wants Nangong Luo to testify for her. Nangong Luo, please tell us that our relationship is just friends and there is no other way to develop it. When Nangong Luo didn't speak, those friends agreed that the girl was just shy. Miss Gong, there is nothing wrong with you and Nangong Luo being together, why should you deny it? Nangong Luo, look, you gave them another chance to make fun of you. Gong Qinli asked again and again, as if she was getting angry. Before she was irritated, Nangong Luo finally stood up and testified at her request, okay, Li Yulai and I are friends, just mind your own business. They both denied it, and the people who were teasing them no longer had the intention to make fun of them. Gong Qinli slapped Nangong Luo on the shoulder twice, Luo, you are indeed my friend, so awesome. You can't deal with such a small matter, and you still have to trouble me. You have to know that my appearance fee is very expensive. Talk about money hurts feelings. When my business is done, I will give you a big red envelope. The two of them stood together and muttered a few words. Gong Qinli turned around and found that the position next to Gu Jinsi was occupied. Gong Qinli grabbed Nangong Luo's arm and shook it, Luo, do me a favor. Before she even said her request, you could guess it from the direction of her eyes. Enough is enough. Nangong Luo expressed his displeasure. But they often talked like this, and Gong Qinli just regarded his words as a joke. Tisk, are we buddies, are we brothers? Just help me get the people around Gu Jinsi away. I finally got closer to Dr. Gu. The distance can't be wasted like this. I'm not going. Nangong Luo stepped back, sat down directly, leaned on the chair and raised his phone. Gong Qinli blinked at him without giving up, then lay down next to the chair and was repeatedly begged, please, Luo. Nangong Luo sighed deeply. He stood up and walked straight in the direction of Gu Jinsi. He didn't know what he said to the man next to Gu Jinsi, and the man followed Nangong Luo. Gong Qinli got her wish and went to sit next to Gu Jinsi. Ye Youwei, who walked in from outside, happened to see this scene. She was shocked by this. Nangong Luo actually helped Gong Qinli get a chance. Could it be that the two of them really had a pure friendship, rather than a love as she thought? Thinking of this, Ye Wei shook his head and pretended not to see it. The gathering with a large number of people was extremely lively. The pair of Gong Qinli and Nangong Luo were admittedly unsuccessful, but those with sharp eyes spotted the pair of Yezikin and Ye Wei. A discerning person took a look at the ring on Ye Wei's hand and asked about it, and the relationship between the two was exposed. However, the young people who can come to this party all understand the rules of the circle, and they will not say anything that is not disclosed to the public. Knowing that they were successful, everyone started to persuade them to drink. With Yezikin here, Ye Wei naturally cannot drink. However, when it was Yezikin's turn, Nangong Luo and others who knew the truth tried their best to stop it, but no trouble occurred. After 3 rounds of drinking, Yezikin quietly left the venue with Ye Wei. What are your plans for tomorrow? I want to visit the graves of my parents. I go with you. Okay. Thinking of going to the cemetery to pay homage to his parents tomorrow morning, Ye Wei got up early and bought incense, fruits, and flowers. The only thing Ye knows is that when she indulges herself and forgets her hatred and lives a normal life, she is really happy. But, the cold night that appeared beside my mother's grave was so annoying. Qixi Festival needs to quickly resolve the hatred between Xiao Ye's family and let Xiao Lingdang marry her brother. Oh, little Belle Dang hasn't graduated yet. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 610. Chapter 610. You are not the son of the Ye family. Beside Hua Qinhui's grave, there were fruits and flowers brought by Ye Hantian. Ye Wei took all these things away silently. Xiao Li, what are you doing? Seeing this, Yahantian was extremely dissatisfied with her behavior. If he hadn't taken into account that she was Hua Qinhui's daughter, and this was Hua Qinhui's grave, Yahantian might have turned against her on the spot. Ye Wei had a straight face and his aura was not inferior to his. Mr. Ye, please leave here. You are not welcome in our Chiao family. Yahantian endured it and said, I just came to visit your mother. My mother won't welcome a villain like you. Presumptuous, Yahantian's temper flared up and he almost slapped her in the face with his raised hand. But Ye Wei would not let herself suffer. She was able to catch Yahantian's forcefully swung hand steadily, but in the end Yahantian still failed to slap that slap. Probably because, your eyes are so similar to your mother's. Yahantian was missing another person through her eyes again. Ye Wei turned his eyes away without hesitation. My mother doesn't want to see hypocritical villains. You are not welcome here, go. When she thought of those things back then, she felt nothing but endless hatred for Yahantian. Little girl, you don't understand propriety. Even if you forget the kindness that everyone has given you in raising you, you still have to call me uncle according to your seniority. As an elder, I can wake up and worship your parents. You are young. Where do you have the right to say these things to me? Hearing Yahantian's pretended sense of righteousness, Ye Wei was furious. Qualification? Just because I am their only daughter. And you, Yahantian, you harmed my parents, why do you have the nerve to come and worship me? Take your things and stay away. I don't want to cause trouble in front of my mother's tombstone. Ye Wei was determined not to put the things Yahantian brought in front of Hua Qinhui's tombstone. Yahantian felt that he had lost face, but he was indeed too guilty to dare to attack Hua Qinhui's only daughter in front of Hua Qinhui's grave, so in the end he had no choice but to give up. Yahantian left with full of anger. Ye Wei knelt down in front of his parents' graves and worshipped 3 times. Mom and Dad, I'm sorry, it was Xiaoli who came late and made you see that annoying person. But please don't worry, before long, I will personally send Yahantian to prison to comfort your spirits in heaven. Light incense with your own hands and place it in front of your parents' graves. Ye Wei made the oath in front of his parents, as if to warn himself that he must not be soft-hearted. However, she also has compassion. The most embarrassing thing is Yezikin's identity. When I found out that Yahantian was the direct murderer of you, I hated Yahantian and everyone in the Ye family. But I don't know what Li Mo'er said. Somewhat true or false. The reason why she didn't blame Yezikin for the incident was because there was no involvement of Yezikin in these matters, allowing her to clearly distinguish between the two. But then, even now she doesn't dare to ask Yezikin directly if he knows about the dirty things Yahantian did, and she deliberately blocked revenge and has concealed it to this day. Yezikin originally came with her, but she didn't let Yezikin come with her. She doesn't want her parents to see anyone from the Ye family again until the matter is resolved. Ye Wei stood in front of the tombstone and said some words of longing and about his own feelings. Finally, she sighed leisurely, it would be great if you were not the son of the Ye family. End of this chapter.